We're
discussing whether or not to make it a little less informal, and instead of where you sit there, let's say put chairs around like this.
Yeah. I've tried to encourage that when we have less than a minion, but people sometimes they don't, they feel intimidated by me. I don't know. Do you want to try that now? I would be happy to.
Well, no, it's just that she said, like you say, it feels offended, but it's on Fridays, it's usually the same.
Yeah.
Same 10, 12, 8 people who show. It's not like some stranger comes in and feels embarrassed.
Sometimes, but not tonight.
That's you. You know, there's no law, no sage point that says you can't sit in a circular fashion in front of the demon or anything else. As far as I know, there's no rules, and since we're mixed, it doesn't much matter where the men and women sit.
Yeah.
So the answer to your question is, it's the same. That's why I say, when you ask me, it's the same 10, 8, 10, 12 people in show every week.
Okay, but let's say you are a total stranger.
Okay, but there's no strangers here tonight, so why don't we do it? It's a good night to test it out.
I didn't expect you to get that elaborate, but that's fine.
No, we want it to be with us, right? Are we still visible down here? Okay.
You need to see that?
No, for anybody watching at home.
Oh,
Yeah, no, Anthony nodded. He said we're good. Uh-oh, but now we're closer. Let me put my mask back on before I sing into your faces.
We're wearing our masks for things.
Oh,
Sure,
yeah,
we're 6 feet apart.
That's true.
Oh, that's right. I never thought about that. That could hinder your sermon. That's where we never thought about that.
That's right.
Well, I guess we have to stand back 6 feet from the...
Well,
We've got 6 feet.
yeah.
And she's sitting, so we don't need the full 6.
Is that how that works?
No.
Come on.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, that comes under a Republican view.
Okay, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da da yada da da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da da yada da, yada da da da, yada da da, yada da da yada da. Yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da da yada da da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da da yada da da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da da yada da da. Yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da da yada da da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da da yada da. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Let us light our candles together. Although, you know, the blessing, though, is only for one. Ner shall Shabbat, singular. But we're going to light both of them, just for good measure. Our blessing can be found on page 120. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder of the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, a day of rest, a day of wonder, a day of peace. We continue on page 138 and 139 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet ve'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor habracha, Merosh mikadam nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitorari, Kiva orech kumi uri, shir daberi, Kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Enter the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam besimcha uvetzola, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Let's continue on page 142. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ba'achem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's read together on page 147. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthest most star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release the darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Page 150. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu, uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla, v'havatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. On pages 152 and 153, we have the Shema, followed by the Ve'ahavta. Instead of rising, I invite you to sink into your seats. Feel supported, feel both feet solidly on the ground. We will do this sort of meditative version where it's kind of the same tune but drawn out. So we're going to take deep breaths and let every word be a full exhale as we feel supported on this hallowed ground of our sacred circle here. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzabecha hayom alevavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiyot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 156. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior, who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You perform miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha neder bakodesh, Nora tehilo dosefele, Nora tehilo dosefele, Malechutecha ra'u banecha bokei ayan, Lifnei Moshe ze'eli, Anu ve'ameru Adonai, Yimloch le'olam va'ed, Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, Mi chamocha neder bakodesh, Nora tehilo dosefele, Nora tehilo Joseph Ela. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Page 160. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Vehamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Ufros alenu sukat shlomecha, ufros alenu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us the wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. On page 164, we will rise and say the opening kavanah to our Amidah together, and then continue over the next couple pages silently, rejoining on page 172. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished and all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel, who sanctifies your name, may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 174. Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants and pour your Spirit upon us. Let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'Tzion. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles which we experience every day, and your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot. Page 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon L'chol ha-shalom, v'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol eit uv'chol sha'a, b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam, tasim leolam. Baruch atah Adonai hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We take another moment for silent prayer, using the words on pages 180 and 181, or the meditations of our own hearts. Yehiyu leratzon imrei fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai Tzuri Vegoali. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, Adonai, our rock and redeemer. We turn our thoughts now to those who are ill, injured, or in recovery from surgeries and in need of our prayers for healing. We have on that list Rosalind Cantu, Lori Perry, Nick Joliot, Rhonda Butler, Ira Dornfeld, Frank Lerner, Ali Savage, Shmuel Yosef ben Yisrael Tzvi, Ann Cohen, Anita Ash, Patty Bergeron, Josiah Miller, Debbie Rubenstein, Jed Michael, Taliba Hassan, Donna Goldstein, Bev Conrad, and Adam Manny. And if anyone else has a name. Our Misha Berach is on page 371, and we hold in our hearts all those in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We also keep in our thoughts all those who are active military duty, first responders, and peacekeepers, those whose jobs are dangerous so that our lives might not be. We have on that list Oni Hinnanen, Joshua Ehrlichman, Martin Brown, Howard Mergler, Kyle Smet, Andrew Booth, Joseph Cald, Pete Abelson, Jeremy Sharkey, Benjamin Hurd, Alexander Furman, Daniel Gilman, Curtis Miller, Rob Apgar, Ben Farrell, Caleb Menzies, Francis Petraka, Noah Kaplan, Aaron Breeding, Dakota Rollins, Jacob Duvras, Janet Ingraham, Tyler Adcock, Tom Trout-Young, and all those in the armed services and on the ships at sea that tune in and watch us from our YouTube channel. May the one who blessed our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and our mothers, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless those who are serving in our armed services. May God guard them and keep them from harm. If they find themselves in danger's path, may God bring them back whole of mind and body to all those who love them. May it be your will, Adonai Tzevaot, to lead them to safety and to protect them from each and every enemy and ambush. May God make their journey successful and guard their going out and coming in with mercy and love, and let them be blessed to return home with life and peace, now and forever. And let us say, in the beginning, I broke the mic. So begins our Torah anew. or at least according to most English translations. I assume everyone present knows at least the very basics of our creation story. There was a primordial void, and God spoke the universe into being. God made people and set them over the earth to be stewards of God's creation, and human fallibility immediately ensues. There are other details in between there, and lots of room to discuss the specifics as we understand them via the two potentially conflicting narratives of the first two chapters of Parashat Bereshit, but that's the overview that fits both chapters. It got me thinking this week about origin stories generally speaking. All ancient cultures have creation myths. Many involve shape forming out of the primordial ooze, either in a something from nothing sort of way, or a shaping out of a formless something sort of way, and our creation story is somewhere kind of in between those two. Other creation stories tell of a divine birth to the world, where a god or pair of gods split off parts of themselves to create. And it wouldn't be a stretch to see the influence of such mythologies may have had on the difference between Genesis 1 and 2 and the resulting midrash, suggesting that the Adam, or human, in the first version contained both male and female identifiers and was split into two beings identified as Adam and Eve in the second version. While the origin story fervor in popular culture seems to have settled slightly for the time being, I haven't seen or heard of more wicked or maleficent type movies and books in a while. It seems that production companies know they can still make a quick buck off a prequel. Orphan First Kill was terrible, in case anyone was wondering, and it didn't do great in the box office, but they at least made back the money spent to make the movie. Because people like me want to know about the origins of the stories we enjoyed, even if we know the entertainment factor is decreased by over-explanations. Our natural world and the universe God has created for us is unknowable, but that doesn't stop us from wanting to know as much as we can and filling in the blanks for that which we can't. Even in the science community, which may seek to prove the natural origins of life, the universe, and everything, disproving our sacred myths in the process, has to continue to sharpen its tools, refine its narrative, and speculate often. So I'd like to encourage you now to think of your own origin stories. There are obviously some hard facts: when and where you were born, who your parents were, your level of education, and so on. But just like our sacred myths and our fairy tales or superhero stories or our ever-evolving understanding of the sciences, your personal origin story will still require some speculation and added details to make the narrative cohesive to an outside observer. For example, I was born March 1st, 1988, in New Haven, Connecticut. I was raised by two parents in a shoreline suburb of New Haven, where I lived in the same house my mother had grown up in until I reached the age of 18. Then I went on to college in Western Massachusetts, rabbinical school in New York, and finally settled down here into my adulthood to start my career and my family. Those are the basics, the facts. My Bereshit Aleph, if you will. But some of my own go-to narrative stories, origin stories, to explain my relationship with Tikkun Olam or my rabbinate include the time I received a mailer for a Feed the Children type charity around the age of 12. I knew I was privileged beyond the wildest dreams of the children this organization sought to help, but at the same time, I had no money of my own and didn't know how to help. I wept and felt totally helpless. When I went to the URJ Kutz camp, Zichrona Livracha, I found other young people who felt this way too, who cared about child slavery and ethical consumerism, who agreed that our relationship to the disenfranchised was one of responsibility toward equality and justice, and that this responsibility was commanded by our Jewish values in God. These are my Bereshit Bet, the more nuanced unfolding from the events of the first steps of creation. In the book, The 5 Books of Miriam, a woman's commentary on the Torah, a midrash is offered in the name of Esther the Hidden One. During the first hour of the first day of creation, before anything else was created, Shekhinah created all the human souls and placed them in the highest heaven. When a baby is conceived, Lila, the angel of the night, brings it to God to learn its fate. At that moment, it is written where it will live and when it will die, its gender, its wealth, its strength, beauty, wisdom. Only one decision is left unwritten, whether it will be righteous or wicked. Then the angel of souls ascends to the highest heaven to bring back a soul destined for this particular child. It enters the child and nestles quietly behind the mother's breast. And then a different angel teaches the soul all that it will learn during its days on earth. And when it comes time for the child to be born, the angel strikes the newborn under its nose, leaving that cleft there. Instantly, the soul forgets everything and emerges into the world, crying and afraid, and every soul spends the rest of its life relearning all it once knew. According to this midrash, maybe our origin stories don't really matter. Or maybe they matter, but it's just that they're preordained. Maybe some of the facts, yes?
I thought souls didn't enter children until their birth. Isn't that the Jewish tradition?
Yes, but that's not the same as the soul already existing. It exists, and the conceived fetus exists. And then at the moment of birth, they get smooshed together.
Okay.
According to this midrash.
Okay.
This also fits in, I think, with the Kabbalistic midrash, or the mystical midrash, that then also after you die, your soul goes back up to that highest heaven, and their souls get, like, recycled. Not in a sort of Eastern reincarnation way where there's any meaning to it, but just in a, like, it goes back, the angel throws it back down when it's needed again.
That sounds terrible.
Anyway, so according to this midrash, maybe some of the facts of our lives are preordained, but our responses to them are still important, and we do have the power to choose certain paths in life. In any case, our origins and how we see ourselves are strongly intertwined. Our histories define who we become, and the people we are today determine how we view our histories, both personally and culturally. This Parashat Bereshit, think about your own beginnings and take some pride in how far you've come in your life. After all, we are all merely clay from the earth, stardust matter rematerialized, overthinking monkeys with opposable thumbs. How grand is it that we are able to make community, pray, sing, love, enjoy leisure, and find driving passions? May we thank the Creator and the universe that has given us shape, and honor the blessings in our lives by remembering to rest our overthinking thumbs. Let the clay of our bodies soften, and let our starlight shine. Amen, and Shabbat Shalom. We turn toward our concluding prayers with, No, we can't because we don't have 10. Okay. We turn our thoughts to those who are no longer with us in body, but remain with us in spirit. This week marks a yahrzeit for Milton Macy, Morris Rosen, Joseph Bormel, Jim Breeding, Paul Browner, Charles Lefkowitz, Mildred Miller, Judith Aronson, and Ethel Hallam. And we're still within the year of mourning. Yeah, I'm just making sure I have the right date. We're still within the year of mourning for Samuel Fallis, Elaine Skolnick, Edith Herman, Phyllis Rosen, Jill Rosen, Jack Schuber, Aaron Scanlon, Lieutenant Colonel Stanley Heath, Mary Kennedy, Minna Dornfeld, Numaita Enol Dopash, and Arlene Annunziata. If anyone else has a name they'd like to add, please do so. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. May the memories of all those who have gone before us be for a blessing, and may those who mourn them be comforted among the mourners of Zion. Oh, say shalom bimromav, huya aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. A few announcements before we conclude. Today's Friday. Sunday there is Sunday there is religious school at 9:30 a.m. Next week is mostly another normal weekend. Friday night services start at 7:30. Religious school starts at 9:30. Not a lot else going on in the week, but just a heads up. Next week is our annual Unicorn Shabbat for Parshat Noah. So we won't be using these prayer books. We'll be using a packet, so it's a good time to bring children, if anybody out there's got some kids. And then the week after that, there's no Friday night service, but there is Saturday morning, and that Saturday morning, November 5th, is when we will do our annual blessing of the animals. So our service will be up on the hill at the bridge, and bring your animals. As I say, mostly people have only brought dogs and occasionally pictures of cats. But if your cat likes a leash or your bunny or whatever, bring that too.
They also have to like very friendly, nosy dogs that will not behave.
Yeah, that's true. It's okay.
I would not bring anything that is all afraid of a large dog to this, including small children.
Okay. There will be dogs on November 5th, if you're afraid of dogs. Just a heads up. And our book club meeting is coming up. The last Wednesday of the month is not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. Is that correct? It's the 27th. Is that 26th? Okay. On the 26th, we will be discussing a book of short stories called What We Talk About When We Talk About Anne Frank. Has not been what I was expecting so far. Not about Anne Frank at all, in fact. But it was a good read. So join us then if you are able. And then November 6th, our adult ed starts up again. So join us Sundays through November and the first Sunday in December because it's a 5-week course. I'll be teaching the National Jewish Outreach Program's crash course in Jewish history. So 4,000 years of history in 5 one-hour classes. So you can't beat that. Join us Sundays at 1. All right. Our concluding song tonight is This Is Very Good on page 649. When God made the world and made it full of light, the sun to shine by day, the moon and stars by night, He made it full of life, lilies, oaks, and trouts, tigers and bears, sparrows, hawks, and apes. Ooh-ah. And God took clay from earth's 4 corners to give it the breath of life. And God said, this is very good, this is very good. Man, woman, and child, all are good. Man, woman, and child resemble God. This is very good. This is very, very good. Man, woman, and child, all are good. Like God we love, like God we think, like God we care. This is very good. This is very, very good. Man, woman, and child, all are good. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. No, it's from Jeff Klepper and Danny Friedlander's Brains.
Okay, I've never heard it before. Clearly other